Welcome back to part number 3 of What If Padme Joined Vader on Mustafar. Thank you to those of you who watched the other 2 parts. To recap what happened in those in case you haven't seen them, Padme had rescued Vader before his burns on Mustafar, and after a duel between Palpatine and Vader, the Emperor had recovered to capture Padme. Vader had found out and had eventually made his way to the planet Abyss, but in another duel with Palpatine, he had become crushed by the Citadel. Now we follow Vader as he tries to escape the planet with the help of Padme. Vader could finally get a good look at his surroundings, and it appeared as if they were entirely encased by rubble. The Sith apprentice found a weak spot and used the dark side of the Force to lift some of it to the side, but they are quickly met by blaster fire. The 2 newest fugitives of the Empire fight through the gathering of Imperial troops, but Padme soon gets hit by a stray bolt from a stormtrooper, and Vader unleashed the full quantity of his detained fury. The Empire's recruits are blasted back in an astonishing display of Force power, and Vader looked up to see a squadron of ships flying overhead. Reaching into the Force, the former Jedi Knight pulled an Imperial supply ship away from its path, and he jumped on, then lifted Padme to safety. Vader effortlessly wiped out the security of the stormtroopers, and DT series sentry droids aboard the ship, then asked the inventory droid for their destination, but to their shock, it had no destination as it had been merely to assist the attack on Vader. The apprentice barged through the cargo crates to the front of the ship, and throwing the pilot out of the window, regained control before it nosedived into the ground and zoomed off into hyperspace. Padme trudged to the front of the ship, despite her injured arm, and demanded for the location of their children, but Vader looked away in shame of what he had done, carefully explaining how he had hidden them in escape pods to avoid their capture from Palpatine. Padme looked annoyed, but it did at least show that Vader was capable of compassion, and she ordered him to find them before their deaths. Back in a rebel starship, the Jedi Bail Organa and Jar Jar Binks had been trying to find the location of the Death Star. The Gungan general used his connection to Queen Julie and the Dargoyan Order to enlist their assistance in combining their force powers to find the space station together. After meditating over a period of many moons, they managed to uncover that the Emperor had been rapidly capturing any Force-sensitive children across the galaxy, including a number of Bardottans, and his next move was to head to Corellia. The rebellion had gained intelligence that the Empire had already been operating on the planet, installing a large Imperial garrison, and this had to be a mission that the Jedi needed to perform by themselves. The Jedi snuck aboard a Corellian freighter on his journey to the planet, and using several mind tricks to bypass the security codes, they managed to land by one of the many fishing ports. There the Jedi disguised themselves as merchants, and the Force guided them to Coronet City, where they are met by the maze that was the metropolis. Through the spaceport, the Jedi glided past the patrols, then found a passage to the Imperial base. The Force presence they had felt grew to its strongest, and the Jedi had to reveal themselves to gain passage inside. Igniting their blades, they swiftly dismissed the guards outside before more could arrive, and run to the medical wing where they find Luke and Leia were being kept. The Jedi realise that this must be the children of Vader and Padme, and are unsure of what to do with them, as the traditional Jedi method of taking the children to train would only serve to anger Vader. Their questions are soon answered by the dull thud of bodies dropping to the floor, and they turn around to find Palpatine. Even if Yoda had wanted Obi-Wan to run and take the children, they could not, as the Jedi are forced to defend themselves from a flurry of lightsabers, which just miss Luke and Leia, so they decide to batten outside to avoid any potential injuries to them. From the patrols to the civilians, everyone stopped to observe this dazzling duel, but the Jedi had eyes on the spaceport as they glanced at the arriving Vader and Padme, sneaking behind their battle to find the children. Yoda and Obi-Wan tried to divert the battle back to the indoors, but a mighty force blast from the Emperor nearly sent them into the sea. As the Imperial reinforcements began to surround them, they had outlasted their welcome on the planet and jumped onto one of the rebel reserve ships to fly away. The troops give up on one pursuit, but they quickly turn around to avoid the displeasure of the Emperor in capturing Vader and surround the port. The Emperor's voice bellowed across the entire city, and Vader and Padme are trapped. The apprentice is about to walk outside when the rebels fly overhead and began firing at the Imperial forces, providing a sufficient delay for an escape, so Vader and Padme take possession of an Imperial freighter before leaving the planet, relieved that they had their children. But the battle was not over. That is it for part 3 of What If Padme Joined Vader on Mustafar. If you'd like to see a part 4 soon, please like this video, turn on that notification bell, click that subscribe button on this channel, as well as on my other channel What If Films. And as always, leave a comment of what if you'd all like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.